Now it's my pleasure to help present our 2019 Distinguished Alumni Awards. We honor 1971 speech alumnus Terence Davis, who is president and founder of Great Music and Media, Inc., and currently vice president of West Valley National Bank. He was the founder of Malibu Music Awards and the Malibu Symphony Orchestra. Terence's film credits are lengthy, including 6 songs and score music for National Lampoon's Holiday Reunion. His theater credits are even more impressive, with playing a role or roles of producer, composer, and sound designer of shows such as The Sideman, Diva, Collected Stories, Mrs. Scrooge, Glorious, Looking for Normal, and to just name a few. And more recently, he recorded the life story of Dick Van Dyke for Random House. Terence's Rolodex is probably as long as his CV, with connections and work with John Walsh, Meatloaf, Sarah Bareilles, just to name a few. In addition to his amazing music career, he has recently received his master's in not-profit grant writing, an effort to further serve his community. Terence's nominator met him at a UWO alumni chapter event in Palm Desert. How lucky are we that your paths have crossed and now we can all know more about your story. So Terence, please step forward to accept your 2019 Distinguished Alumni Award.
Thank you, Chancellor Levitt, Chris Gantner, the Alumni Board and Association. And I'd like all of you to know that this is a very emotional time for me. This is a full circle of 50 years coming back to campus. Yes. What a change this school has. It's just amazing to see all the new buildings and the changes. So I'd just like to share with you the opportunities that I had here changed my life. I came here as a 17-year-old from a blue-collar neighborhood in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I had very little self-confidence, no idea what I wanted to do, had never joined an organization. I was a musician who wanted to be a rock star, but I thought I should get a college education first. Maybe that was a smart idea. So, looking back, those events and opportunities that I had here, both in mentoring from certain professors and the opportunities to participate in campus life, changed and shaped my future. There was a professor named Lothar Iverson, who was a finance professor, who mentored me and believed in me, and he actually wrote my first letter of recommendation for my first job. There was a business law professor, Jacob Adelheit, who taught business law 1 and 2, and I still use what he taught me in contract law to this day. Things that you never forget. There's a professor who also invited me to join Circle K, which is a Kiwanis group, and that taught me charity. Then there was a professor here named Nancy Vunovich who cast me in a play, and every play after that, from Shakespeare to musicals, and had me do things I never believed I could attempt to do, and did. And she gave me my love of theater that stayed with me my entire life. So think about the opportunity, the participation that I had to be able to join things, to learn how to be a leader. I became president of my fraternity, Sigma Pi, and I met the guys yesterday. They offered me a beer. I declined. I thought, well, maybe during this weekend I should kind of take it easy. But wonderful group of guys. I became Interfraternity Council president as well, and I got involved in student government, and I brought the first legal aid service to our campus, and it's still going strong 50 years later. So those are things, those are opportunities that I had here that, looking back, had I not come to Oshkosh, I don't know that I would have had these wonderful opportunities. And I don't know what my life, the twists and turns would have been like. So I left Oshkosh after I graduated, and I became a NYSE stockbroker for a Lowy & Company in Milwaukee. And from then, after that, I joined Hasbro Toys and became an executive at Hasbro. And I learned about computer chips while I was there. We started using chips in toys, and I learned how to put music onto chips. And so my music, the drive that I had to become a musician, I think I was able to find a way to use music again. So I started to use music on chips, and I left Hasbro, and I created my own manufacturing company making musical toys. So I found my way back to music and started making those dancing Santa Clauses that you see in stores, and the Halloween stuff that you'll hear when you're walking through Walgreens and CVS and Walmart. So that was what I was responsible for. And I opened a recording studio in Malibu, California, and had the opportunity to make many jingles, musical score, I think you heard, for lots of different movies. Worked with some wonderful people like Pierce Brosnan and Dick Van Dyke, many wonderful people. And then it was, I think, a short time, 6 years ago, a major event happened. Before I go any further, I'd like to introduce my wife. Elise, would you stand up? She's shy. She's been with me for 30 years. And through the good times and tough times, and as I was going to say, 6 years ago, I had a stroke. And it affected only my eyesight, and I lost the vision from the middle of my eyes to the left and lost the ability to drive a car because I'd be a hazard on the road. And the worst than that is that I couldn't see the keys on a keyboard properly, so I saw the 44 keys this way, but not that way. I decided to make a life change, and that was to spend the rest of my life giving back and finding a way to help heal the world. So my idea was to go back to school, get a master's degree in nonprofits so that I can have credibility when I talk to nonprofits and offer to help raise money and work in their organizations. So I did that and did some wonderful things. I brought a surgical unit from Northern California to the desert that's now grown into 3 surgical units and doing wonderful things. And all of that has led to a bank president asking me if I would join their bank community service board. And a few months after that, they offered me the opportunity to become vice president of the bank. And 3 years later, here I am, still working as vice president of the bank. So all of these things were possible only because of my learning charity, my learning how to participate, leadership, all the skills that I learned here. And it's just amazing to have come back full circle. And these are opportunities that I had in my life that I'm just so thankful for. And they're memories that will never fade, as will this night with you. I'll never forget this night. Thank you very much.